Are you an accounting or tax professional who wants to stay ahead without spending a dime? Join thousands who trust insightful accountant and tax practice news to keep them informed and empowered. Get expert updates on QuickBooks, Xero, tax planning strategies, and workflow tips delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a solo bookkeeper, firm leader, or tax advisor, these newsletters are your shortcut to what's next in the profession. They're free, practical, and built for people like you. Visit insightfulaccountant.com and hit subscribe to start your smarter workflow today for free.
Hello, and welcome to today's App Academy. This session is a follow-up to our Future Forward series from November, and it's intended to be product demos. So you are here to see a product demo to learn more about these individual products. So don't be shocked when our presenters are talking about the products, because that's what this is all about. Our audience members and subscribers have told us they really want to see more demos, more product demos to help them understand what products to pick. We'll go ahead and close that poll, and then we'll bring Valerie in.
Can you hear me okay?
All right. I hear you. I see your slide deck. I think we're in good shape.
Excellent. Then we will head right in. Hello, everybody. I'm Valerie, and today we're going to take a look at OnPay and what it's like to partner with us to serve your clients. I'm kind of curious who's in the room, so if you'd love to jot like a little note in the chat for me, if you do payroll or if you refer clients to payroll, if you have any involvement in that, I'd love to kind of get a sense of who's here. So chime on in. All right, and while you're doing that, for those who don't know me yet or didn't see the webinar last week, I'm Valerie Heckman. I'm our accountant community manager here at OnPay, and I've been working with accountants and bookkeepers for the last 14 years in December. I'm big on helping firms make operational improvements, choose their technology stack, and of course, make the most of OnPay. And I'm really big on client experience and celebrating wins along the way. Somebody's asking, do you work internationally? We don't. We're right into the questions. That's great. We have payroll for all 50 states, but we don't have international payroll at this stage in time. So before we hop into the product, I'd like to set the stage a little bit. For those who are just getting familiar with OnPay, or maybe you're hearing about us for the first time, we are a full-service payroll solution out of Atlanta, Georgia. And we've built a partner program to help accountants and bookkeepers offer great experiences for your clients. We give you the option to manage clients' payroll on their behalf, or you can refer clients to OnPay to work with us directly, or you can do kind of a hybrid of that, right? If you want to delegate some of the payroll tasks to your clients, like submitting the payroll, but still be able to have control over how things sync to the accounting software and running reports and all that good stuff, you can absolutely do a combination. So today you'll get a sense of what it looks like to run payroll. We're going to run a payroll together, review some reports, look at a few of the settings, and talk about how things integrate up with other solutions such as 401k providers and accounting software. And I also hope to help you understand what's included in our offering and all the great things that OnPay takes off your plate and how we have your back along the way. So hopefully that sounds good. And feel free to ask questions throughout. If I don't get to them, we're happy to follow up with you on those after the webinar. So our system is really designed for you or your clients to set up your workers, run your payroll, hit submit, and then we handle the rest. So we will handle federal, state, and local tax payments and form filings, and anything that comes up along the way. You and your team are not going to be tied up with the taxes and forms, new hire reporting, W-2 or 1099 prep for any employees or contractors that you pay through OnPay. We'll handle any payroll corrections or tax notices that hopefully won't come up, but if they do, we have your back on that. And everything is fully online. So there's no hosting, no network, no file management involved along the way. The system also has a number of HR tools built in to help your clients manage their teams, such as hiring tools, onboarding employees, building org charts, and more. We also have an in-house benefits team for health insurance. OnPay works with top carriers in all 50 states for medical, dental, and vision, and your clients can really create a benefits package that works best for them and their team and their budget. Accounting pros that work with us really love how OnPay can really serve clients as they grow as well, and that we're flexible to a lot of different industry needs. So our company was actually born out of our founder's grandfather's payroll clerking company in Atlanta. He went to work for his grandfather, saw the opportunity to create great software to help the payroll clerks there, and yeah, eventually turned that into OnPay and brought it to the market. So because of that, we're payroll nerds here. We really know the ins and outs of different industry requirements, and we try to build easy to use software that can also flex to serve a lot of those nuanced needs that you run into for different industries. Most companies on OnPay have between 1 and 50 employees, but we can serve up to 500 employees. But we're really built best for those small businesses. If they're a fit for QuickBooks or Xero, they tend to be a fit for us. And like I said, we can support some of those trickier scenarios. Examples of that, if you need to accommodate H-2A workers or do 943 filings for agriculture businesses, exemptions and special fringe benefits for nonprofits or churches, tipping considerations for restaurants, we can really flex to fit those needs. And I'm about to jump in the product, but as you partner with us, you also get a number of perks. We have really simple and straightforward pricing. Not going to get in that too heavily, but $49 a month, $6 per worker paid per month. So we're not charging for workers that aren't on the payroll that particular month. We also offer discounts and revenue share to our partners, and you can bill OnPay to your firm or to your client, mix and match that for different client needs. We'll give you a partner dashboard to manage all the clients in one spot, which is where I'm headed next. And you're also free to use OnPay for your own payroll. Gives you a chance to get a sense of how it works for yourself. We just ask that you have one active client on us, but you don't have to keep adding clients all the time. We'll also give you what we call a sandbox, a little test environment where you can try out OnPay, run payrolls and reports and things without impacting any real money movement, right? Great place to learn OnPay and then demo it for your clients. We also do referral rewards. So if you end up loving us, we like to reward you for that. And then finally, our support is one of the things that we're known for. And I love when I talk to people at events and conferences, and that's the first thing that they sing the praises of. We're very hands-on as you work with us. We have a dedicated partner team for our accountants and bookkeepers that will help you onboard clients and take care of any payroll needs ongoing. You and your client also have our phone, chat, and email support. Everybody has the same access to that great team, so your clients don't have to have a certain number of employees to benefit from that hands-on experience. All companies getting set up on OnPay also get full service onboarding. So I'll talk about this a little bit towards the end of my time, but we really try to make that switch to OnPay very easy, very smooth, give you custom checklists that tell you everything that needs to happen so that we know your clients are set up for success in the long term. And with that, I am going to switch tabs and get myself logged in here. Oops. Hang on here. There we go. Alrighty, let me make sure I'm still showing you the right tab here. Okay, so I am Valerie and I am logged into Easy Accounting, my fictional accounting firm here, and this is our partner dashboard. So from here, you're going to see all of the clients that you have on OnPay, the ability to manage your team members that have access to different clients, and then alerts for things that need attention. This is also where you'll go to set up a client on OnPay initially if you're the one getting them started. I am just going to pop right into a company and start running payroll. So I can launch, or I can use the drop down at the top and start typing a name. And then I'm brought into our dashboard where you can see everything that your client would see if you give them the access to come into OnPay too. It's going to show the team, recent pay runs, the next scheduled pay run. Love the important dates. I can expand each of these, but if I wanted to look at a specific pay period I have set up and see my run deadlines, the check date, effective dates, and any upcoming holidays. Of course, if I was, running payroll for next Friday, I'd have to take Thanksgiving into consideration. So we let you know that. We do 2-day or 4-day direct deposit. Pretty much everybody's on that 4-day by default, but most accounting professionals I know request to have your clients move to the 2-day lead time, meaning that on a typical week, you'd have until Wednesday at 11:30 p.m. for a Friday payroll, for example. I'm going to just jump into running some payroll here. So of course, the employees all get set up initially when you're switching to OnPay. Our team can do that, or we can set people up as we go. But for the sake of time, let's just get into running a payroll. So I've checked off the employees that are getting paid on this biweekly schedule. If I needed to do any one-off runs, I can come into here, change my schedule period. I've got some additional options if I'm doing something special this week. And then if I want to click into my employees, I can expand the details and make configurations to their paycheck. For example, if I needed to add, say, a bonus for Robert here, I could add that to the check and then go in and add my amount. We're feeling generous. I can, of course, set some defaults in his settings, but I can make changes on the fly. And then I can also do any overrides for things like taxes and deductions down below, make changes to the memo. I can do this federal or state. And always preview along the way if I'd like to see the breakdown of what my changes are doing and what those deductions and contributions and such look like, and the tax withholdings. And then I can toggle to my next employee and just kind of go down the line, make any changes, review anything that looks unusual for the hours. And when I am ready, once I've gone through everyone, I would go to the next page and it'll bring me into a preview of this pay run before I'm hitting submit. What I love on this page is we can really drill down into the details. I can look at the company costs and expand and collapse these different areas, look at what's been withheld from the different paychecks. One thing to know about OnPay, you'll see I've got a lot of different states on this payroll. We don't charge extra for multi-state. That is included. So if you've got a client that's got employees in a ton of different states, we don't feel like they should be penalized for hiring the right people in the right places. So that is included in the subscription. I can also expand and collapse out here. If I wanted to drill into specifics, I can look at that check again. And when I am confident that everything is ready to go, I can submit my payroll. Now I've got an alert on somebody. Something weird is going on here. Let's see. Oh, there it is. I have an error. Ooh, somebody's got a negative check. So let me go back. But that's what it looks like. If you have something strange going on, which employee was that? You can tell this is a live demo. I think it was this one. There we go. If there's any warnings for things like, oh wait, it was Alicia. Whoops, wrong person. Let me fix it. I could just click into the check, but I'm just going to take them off the payroll for now for the sake of simplicity here. This is a test account, so a lot of folks play around in it. We'll do warnings if you have things like pay runs that look larger or smaller, but we can bypass those or we could drill into the details and submit our pay run. And then we're going to give you a breakdown of what's happening next, right? So the draft date for the payroll, what the amount is, when those employees that are getting paid by direct deposit will be paid, and what our total payroll cost is overall. At OnPay, we do impound the taxes when you run payroll. So we'll be doing the pay run itself and then the tax sweep at the same time. If I did want to print any checks, I can do so from here. And of course, pop right into the reports. And this will bring you into our reports dashboard. If I'm on the left-hand toggle, you'll see we have a whole range of reports. You can also do custom configurations for reporting, but they tend to be pretty detailed and pretty configurable as you're going through. You can break down into additional filters. We could narrow for specific date ranges. I personally like the payroll register report. This is my favorite view, but we've got lots of different ways to slice and dice this information. What I like about this is it totals everything up at the end for me. We can bring these into Excel or save them as PDFs as well. I saw that there was a question in the chat. Is certified payroll part of OnPay? Not at this time. So we tend to be a fit for a ton of different types of businesses, but if they need certified payroll or they have prevailing wages or need some really heavy job costing, we don't tend to be a fit for those folks. But we could be a good fit for a lot of others. Uh, I would definitely recommend if you set up some time with us, bringing some specific types of clients that you have to the table, and our team is happy to deep dive into the functionality we have to serve different business needs. We also have an area on our website where you can choose, on pay for agriculture businesses or dental practices or gyms or whatever, and see kind of the details around those pieces of functionality. Okay, a couple other quick things. In the company settings, we'll see the option to connect with or export to accounting software. I'm actually going to flip into a different client here very briefly to show you the mapping for QuickBooks Online. But you saw we could do an IAF. I had that on for one of the others. Um, You can set it up to sync automatically. So when we submit that pay run and it ran through and showed us the confirmation, it'll also push the transactions to QBO or to Xero. We can bring that over in summary or in detail. And if we connect it up to QBO or Xero, it's going to pull in that chart of accounts so we can map everything up to where it needs to go inside of QuickBooks. We can do that for the general ledger accounts, or you could do that for different departments that you have set up. There's some flexibility in the settings around how you go about mapping everything. And we get a ton of praises for the way that we sync over and match up really nicely in the bank feed, both in QBO and in Xero. In fact, in Xero, I think we've got a lot more flexibility than many of the payroll providers out there. I could probably talk about that for the rest of the afternoon, but wanted to give you a sense of what that looks like. And then tons of settings at the company level and employee level to turn things on and off and really configure to fit the needs of the business. I mentioned we can pay both employees and contractors on OnPay, and we have a workflow for hiring workers, getting them to fill out their profiles, sign their documents. You can upload, employee handbooks, policies that you have, and get signatures from the workers. And each worker also gets a portal to access their pay stubs, their tax forms like W-2s and 1099s, as well as we've got some of those HR pieces in there for them to manage their documents, request time off, that kind of stuff lives there. Okay, I'm going to go back to my organization and I will finish up just briefly talking about how what it looks like when we are, onboarding a new client to OnPay. So we go back to our dashboard, go into companies, and start what we call the enrollment process. And like I mentioned, we make it really easy to switch to us, and that is a hot topic this time of year. Hard to believe that we're already towards the end of November, so we see a lot of accountants and bookkeepers talking to clients about what they're going to do for payroll in 2026. So January tends to be a good time to make a payroll switch. You can make that line in the sand and start off the new year in a new spot. So the way that this works is you enter basic details about your client to start up enrollment. We have a nice 7-step process to collect the basics that we need to get this process started, including when's the first check going to be in the new payroll software, what form filings are they doing already, if you're doing a mid-year switch or mid-quarter switch, or maybe a few weeks into January, has there been payroll already for the year? And then we'll have our onboarding coordinator send a checklist email. So we help you stay organized through the process and make sure that nothing gets missed during setup by telling you exactly what data we need to get the account set up, what steps you might need to do, like on state websites to make sure that we can pay and file the taxes, and anything else that might be a consideration for that client. You'll provide us with the reports, complete some of the tax setup pieces to make sure that we have all those IDs and rates and such going on. And then our experts will convert your client's payroll history if we are doing this sometime other than a January 1st start. Even if you are starting in January, we'll bring in those employee profiles. And then we'll let you know when the client is onboarded and ready to go. And we tend to have a pretty fast turnaround time for that, especially if maybe they're going to get set up in November, but not or December and not get started until till January. Um, so a couple quick takeaways. We really try to make payroll easy, reduce the manual work that we see slowing folks down. If you're making tax payments, filing forms, handling notices, handling all that stuff for clients today, chances are you can take some of that off your plate and open those resource hours up to other high value work, and let us handle the rest. I only talked about the integration with the accounting system, but I should mention that we do connect up with 401k, workers' comp, some different HR service tools or hiring tools, uh, workplace compliance training, labor law posters, all these types of things to automate beyond payroll. Um, we really try to help you grow your revenue as well. So we've got a lot of resources around how you can add payroll as a service and market it to your clients. We try and do a lot of education around that client experience as well. So those of you who may have attended my webinar last week know that that's something we focus on. And we really try to be here for you along the way, supporting your clients. It's something we really pride ourselves in. And we do have a year-end promotion. I won't spend too much time on this, but the way that this works in a nutshell is if you add 3 clients to OnPay, we do $1,000 payment to you as a reward for that, and $200 for each additional client, up to 10K. So this is our year-end switch offer. I'll make sure you all get that in our follow-up email. But it's a pretty generous offer if you're thinking about making some switches for some clients or wanna try us out. And I hope that this is just the start of the conversation. So if you do want to have a deeper dive into OnPay, run by some scenarios that are applicable to your clients or get a closer look, you can visit us here. If you answer the polling question, we'll also have someone follow up with you. Or feel free to email me or my team any questions that you have. But I'm happy to hang out for a moment if anybody has any questions. I know we went through a lot in a short window, but I hope that gives you a taste of what it's like to work with us.
There is a poll up there right now. If you'd like to hear directly from Valerie or the OnPay team, just say yes, and we'll forward your information over to her. Valerie, I do want to go back on. So you and I had a podcast. I don't know when we did, a week or two ago,
Yeah.
and and again, I shared then we're actually OnPay users, and this isn't like I'm not pitching OnPay. But one thing that came up during that conversation that I wasn't really aware of, and that was the benefit side. Can you talk a little bit more on that, especially kind of in light of I think everybody's benefits are about to go way up, right? So
Yeah.
can you just touch on what that would look like from an advisor's perspective, either for their own firm or for their clients?
Sure, sure. Well, in a nutshell, we have an in-house benefits team of licensed brokers. So when you reach out to our partner team, we could introduce you or introduce your client to that group, and they'll go through a process to figure out what that business is looking for, what challenges they might be having if they have a plan today or if they've never had a plan. We'll walk them through what options exist, and that's for medical, dental, vision. I think we even can help a little bit pointing in the direction of some of the other things that might be needed. And like I said, we've got partners for 401k and workers' comp and such. But yeah, the team is super hands-on, and what I love about this group is they only work with small businesses. So a lot of times, in my experience anyway, brokers out there tend to be chasing after the opportunities that have the highest volume of employees, right? Because they probably get paid on the package as a whole. And so they might not show as much attention or love to the smaller businesses. But our folks mostly talk to businesses with under 20 employees. So, we're not a PEO, but we have all that kind of hands-on experience in guiding people through what their options are and then doing that kind of benefits administration as well, to make sure that enrollment goes really smoothly for the employees too. So that's it in a
Great.
nutshell. Great question.
All right, perfect. Yeah, anything else from the crowd? If not, we will go ahead and wrap this up. So Valerie, thank you. And we do want to thank all of our sponsors who presented today. And again, we already did the poll question here, so I think we are good to go. Valerie, it's great
Thank
seeing
you
you.
for
I hope
having
everybody
me.
has a wonderful Thanksgiving and a safe time over this upcoming holiday. Thank you all.